totally highway capable down low. That is what I love about the Germans. They just give you juice all the way at the bottom of the pack.
He's still chugging along.
So there's the contactor closing. Let's see if she'll restart. On and into drive. Oh, we're going again.
No way.
The German restart. Hello, good morning, and welcome to another Out of Spec Testing video. This is the Volkswagen ID Buzz, and I'm going to run it completely out of juice. I'm on a mission to find out what every electric car does when they die, and we've seen huge variances. We've seen Lucids that have like 5 kilowatt hours below zero. We just recently had the Escalade IQ not even hit 0% before it dies. And, well, it's time for, I think, the first German we've run in this test. Typically, in my experience, the Germans die like zero means zero. There's not much buffer there. They're always pretty accurate with their BMS calibration. So we're going to find out if that's true with the ID Buzz. Let me walk you through the testing procedures, tell you how I'm going to charge it up after it dies. Hint, it's with that ChargeRigs mobile DC fast charger right over there. And then we'll go run the test. Should be a fun one. You guys love these videos. I love doing these videos. And we're at the Out of Spec track where we can safely run the car completely dead. And it's safe-ish, mostly. This is the Volkswagen ID Buzz long wheelbase all-wheel drive. In the US, we only get the long wheelbase, which means we have a 91 kilowatt hour NMC battery pack. That is the gross capacity. It's around 86 kilowatt hours usable. Now, we've already done a range test on one of these cars a while ago, and it did like 214 miles at 70 miles an hour. And we ran it until it died in that video. I'm curious to see if the behavior is any different now. What I've done to get this thing ready for the run to zero is I have driven it this morning and charged it this morning already because I wanted to warm the battery pack up. Electric car batteries perform the best when they're at an optimal temperature, and this battery pack is right around 30 degrees Celsius. And I have car scanner running as well, so I can see just how much energy buffer there is and to see if that is accurate, so we can get an idea of if you really want to run it all the way out, you can look at the car scanner app versus what actually happens in the real world. Should be really fun to see what happens here with this one. We're going to basically drive around the Out of Spec track. It's a 2-mile road course. We'll average moderate speeds. The goal here is to not rip on it, not try to force the charge out of it, just to drive it as if you were driving on normal back roads. So we'll do about 35, 45 miles an hour on the twisty section. We'll target 50, 55 miles an hour down the straightaway. Again, cruising, simulating, you know you're low on charge, trying to stretch it to a charger. We're going to keep climate control on. The car will be in eco mode. But again, just normal driving. And what I'm really curious about in this test is the behavior at low state of charge. Is the car going to lose power? Will it not be able to maintain speed? Or will it go 10 miles past zero like we've seen with some other cars? I guess only time will tell. So let's jump in the Buzz and head out for our run to zero. Before we do that, I've got to set up our mobile DC fast charger, and I've kind of already done that a little bit. Behind my Rivian R1S LFP is this. This is a ChargeRigs DC fast charger on wheels. It uses 120 kilowatt hours worth of battery storage and can output 120 kilowatts. It's 200 amp limited, so it's really only about 70 or 80 kilowatts for the Buzz, but still absolutely perfect to use for these tests. And a huge shout out to ChargeRigs for sending us their Flex 120 for our series. They do make bigger versions of these, by the way, 300 kilowatt output, 300 kilowatt hour. We have the baby one, and even then it's perfect for what we need. This is charged up to 93.4% state of charge. It uses LFP battery packs in this one, so we'll be good to go. And we have 2 CCS ports, one on each side, which is what the Buzz uses. So this is ready to go. It's booted up. Let's go run the Buzz to zero, and then Scott, wherever we die, Scott can run the Rivian out to us so we can charge at any location needed, which is really cool. Well, guys, it's time to head out in the Buzz. Scott will be chilling till we run out. We are currently at 7% state of charge. Now, the run to zero test typically starts at 0% because I want to know what happens below zero, but we can get an impression on the warnings that pop up ahead of time. At 20%, this indication, your state of charge indication, goes yellow. So that'll go, you know, basically all of your teens down to 10, 11%, that will be yellow. At 10%, your percentage goes red. And I love how Volkswagen keeps percentage up here on the display. Now, what I am going to do is not turn steering wheel heating on. I'm going to go this way. Whoops, this one. And we'll keep that as our trip computer. And I can reset our trip computer in a second. By the way, you can see that our current quick charge potential optimum temperature has been reached. And I've got the nerd data right here for you in Car Scanner, where you can see our battery pack is just over 20 degrees Celsius. I thought we were in the 30 degrees Celsius range, but still totally optimal for, you know, to get as much energy out of the battery as possible. Now, what's interesting is this state of charge display, 4.69%, is accurate most of the time until you get below 10%. Then this and the car start disagreeing with each other. The car shows 7% state of charge, and this shows 4.69 displayed. The BMS on the actual battery is 10%. So we'll probably see it run out before that gets to 0, or we'll be able to use that up. This is what I'm curious about. It says there's 6.5 kilowatt hours left in the battery pack. So I'm really curious to see what comes out of this. Why is our DC power minus 71 kilowatts? That's not accurate. So that must be a bug on that one. We're only doing 7 amps, 12 amps. Should not be more than like 3 kilowatts. Anyway, all sounds good. We're basically just going to cruise. Let's select driving mode Eco. I do have my heated seat on, but we'll turn that off when we hit 0% because that's when we actually start logging distance. We will reset our since start driving data. Boom. So we'll see, you know, what happens, and then I'm going to reset that again when we hit 0%. So we're currently burning 1.2 kilowatt hour per hour, which is just 1.2 kilowatts. Welcome to German. I love the kilowatt hour per hour measurement. That's such a good one. All right, we're off. Let's go cruise around gently. We've got 7% to burn off in this thing. It's showing 12 miles. I'll update you if anything major happens, but really the only thing notable is that exclamation point, that going red for state of charge indication, and we have a battery light on. If I come over here to our notifications, it just says activate battery care mode, which I'm not going to do because it's, you know, we got to do a charge test after this. That's why we're draining it. So let's just cruise around gently. Plenty of power here at 7% to get up to speed and do whatever we need to do. I'll keep you updated as we lose state of charge. We are cruising along at 5% state of charge now. Nothing major to report, just, you know, using a little bit of regen, a little bit of power. I'm a little bit harder on it than I would be below 0 just to kind of drain the battery a bit, but I'm not going wide open throttle or anything like that. Just kind of getting onto the accelerator maybe a bit earlier than I would when the run to 0 actually starts, because technically this test does start at 0% to see how far it goes below 0. Interestingly, as I go around through these corners, I can feel the brake-based torque vectoring slow us down. So it's actually one of the very few cars, maybe the only car in the market that has drum brakes in the rear with active brake-based torque vectoring. And as it gets loaded up in a corner like this, it actually, I can feel the car bog down slightly as it grabs some of the brakes in the rear to help change the pitch of the vehicle. Now we're not hard on it or anything, this is just gentle cruising, but I just find that to be maybe not the best tuning out there. I mean, yes, ultimately I can power through it. I'm not right now, but it is funny to feel it grab brakes in the back to help, you know, I guess get the power to the correct wheels without a mechanical solution. So anyway, fun to experience, but we're just going to cruise around here and then see what happens as we get close to 0. You can see there is a power limit, and that has progressively come down. That blue bar gets shorter and shorter as the power limit gets stronger. However, I mean, look at this acceleration. Still plenty of acceleration to get right up to speed. It's not fast or anything, but it's totally highway capable, even down here at 5%. Our SoC display is showing 0.25%. And again, I'm not sure what calculation that's reading, but we still have 3% remaining here as we accelerate up to about 55 miles an hour on the straightaway. Still plenty of power on tap. I'm just touching the accelerator pedal, and totally highway capable down low. That is what I love about the Germans. They just give you juice all the way at the bottom of the pack. You can see still pretty good pack voltage, over 300 volts, even on acceleration. We're pulling 50 kilowatts of power to accelerate here up to 60 miles an hour. And No issues whatsoever. So shout out Volkswagen on really making a usable car. A lot of cars, they say you might have 20 miles left, but you can't use the last 5% of the battery on the highway. Not the case in the Buzz. You can run this thing all the way out to at least 3% and below in my experience, maybe down to 1% and still have highway capability in terms of power. Really great. We have just hit 1% state of charge, and so this is when the test gets real. Be curious to see what happens. It's showing 3 miles of indicated range, which no way this thing is doing 300 miles at 100%, but that's okay. Yeah, everyone can be optimistic in life. All good. Let's just continue cruising now. As soon as we hit 0, I'm going to reset the trip computer, and then we'll see how far below it goes 0% and 0 miles. Very much looking forward to seeing this because the Germans tend to do it kind of consistently, at least the Volkswagen group does. And I wonder if this even has a restart like the Taycan has. We have not tried that yet. So we've got a lot of questions to be answered here in the next few minutes. Looking forward to it. As we come out of the corkscrew down here at the bottom, or the hairpin, I guess I should say, well, I'm really curious to see how the acceleration feels. So that is to the floor, and it's still picking up speed, I would say more than reasonably at 1%. I'm not going to keep it pinned. We're just going to, again, maintain 50, 55 miles an hour or so. But damn, good power all the way down here. Totally highway capable. You can see I've lifted off the pedal. We're at 1% and 1 mile now. So that seems to add up. We're getting close to the edge. As soon as it dips to 0, we got to reset this screen. It seems to be holding on to 1% for a while. You can see we have 850 watt hours left in the battery pack according to Car Scanner. So when will it dip to 0? That's going to be the question. Still plenty of power on the power meter. And will it die when it just goes to 0? I don't know. 0%. 1 mile remaining. So let's 0 out since driving. Okay, this is what I'm curious about. 825 watt hours left in the battery pack. We are at, let me just put it in neutral real quick, resting voltage, 330 volts resting. And SoC display is negative 3%. Not true, but we are at 0, so let's go. Now we start the run to 0 test. How far below 0 will it go? This will be super interesting. Still cruising along here at 0% with 1 mile indicated. So that 1 mile really did seem to be accurate. The thing that bothers me about Volkswagens though is they do not show decimal places. You can see it shows we've just driven 0 miles. It says battery drained, charge vehicles now. There's turtle mode for the first time at 0%. We have reached turtle mode. That is with 400 watt hours remaining according to the BMS. But again, it's still showing 1 mile left on the display, and the turtle mode indication has gone away. Nope, it's there on the bottom. Got it. So I'm curious to see what the acceleration is going to be like coming up onto the straightaway. I'm not going to try to push it or bottom brick it. We've traveled 1 mile exactly since we hit 0%. We still have 1 mile displayed on the screen. And if I remember correctly, in our 70 mile per hour range test, I think it did 2 miles past 0, and that's when it shut off. And then we plugged it in instantly. So again, just getting it up to 50 miles an hour, gentle acceleration, still highway capable here, no question. I'm barely using the available power. And we have 125 watt hours left, 100 watt hours left. That's like a MacBook Pro battery pack it thinks is left. So will it drive below the energy content it believes is in there? I'm not sure. I'm surprised it can output this much power down here though. We've driven almost 2 miles since we've hit 0%, still with 1 mile displayed on the screen. I have turned my heated seat off, by the way. There's 0%, 0 miles. Okay, boom. So there's that right there. We have 0 watt hours left in the battery pack. So that mileage estimate seems to be based off of the high voltage battery remaining content in Car Scanner in the CAN system, but it's still going below 0. The SoC BMS is indicating 2% internally, but again, everything on my side is showing 0 with turtle mode, and we have now driven 2 miles past 0. I'm honestly surprised it's driven this much past 0. I really thought we were only going to get maybe a mile, maybe 2 miles, maybe. But here we are 2 miles in, and it's still cruising. Still feels pretty good, still has power. Again, I'm not even using all of it just to maintain our speed. We've actually increased speed a little bit. I'll just back off a little bit to not, bottom voltage sag it, but it feels good. I'll let you know what happens, but for now, I'm just going to keep cruising. We are below 0 in the run to 0. Everything feels predictable. The car doesn't feel stressed. It's not doing anything weird. Threw up a couple warnings, but nothing crazy. And according to this, we still have 1.6% state of charge left before the high voltage battery is completely out. I don't know to trust that or not, but it is good to know. In case you own one of these, you can keep that menu up on Car Scanner and find out when it'll actually die. Oh, I am full throttle now, and that is everything it's giving us. We're about 3.5 miles below 0. Again, 1.2% state of charge according to this. We have almost no power, just enough to maintain 40 miles an hour now. So this is where it's feeling a little bit weak sauce. Let me radio to Scott. It feels like it's going to die now.
It's giving almost dead.
Yep. So, but still moving along, 1.2%. There's no way that's true. The maximum output is 16 kilowatts. That's everything the battery can do. Oh, there we go. Only maneuvering possible. Charge vehicle. So I'm going to keep it floored just to see what happens. It is outputting 7 kilowatts of power right now. So it's not completely dead, but it does say only maneuvering possible. Charge vehicle. And that's about 4 miles past 0 so far. Because again, the road course is pretty much exactly 2 miles in each direction. And this will tick up to 4 miles here in just a second. So let's call that 4 miles before we hit red turtle mode. Pretty interesting. There's the 4 miles. And it's still outputting 8 kilowatts of power. Don't know if you can see that. 8.5 kilowatt output. My foot is just on the floor. It'll be really curious to see how far we can go in this mode. But I'm keeping my foot welded to the bottom. Very predictable, very safe. I love that they give you the maneuvering possible. The car isn't throwing any fault codes. We'll go around the oval here. It's just like, okay, we're German. We've planned for this. We've tuned for this. Only maneuvering is possible. Very good feeling. I really like the way Volkswagen has done this. And this is enough to get me off the side of the highway, maybe limp it to the next exit. Yeah, we're not going fast, but you know, battery pack voltage is just over 300 volts. We are at 0.8% SOC. And yeah, curious to see how far it'll go. I'll keep you guys updated, but for now, it's still just outputting 8 to 9 kilowatts of battery power. The ID Buzz is now pretty much 5 miles past 0 and still maintaining a pretty reasonable 33 miles an hour. I mean, this is more than enough to, again, get you off the highway. But I did just feel it back off on power there a little bit. Now we're down to 2 kilowatt power output, that one right there. And so it's really on the floor at the moment. We're at 0.4% SOC BMS. Again, the car has shown 0-0 for over 5 miles. But I think this is the way to do it. This might be my favorite one that I've run dead so far. It feels safe, it feels accurate, and it is giving us, you know, every last drop of juice that it can. My foot is still floored. We're outputting, again, 2 kilowatts right there. I did leave climate control running as per testing procedures, but it's pretty much not going anywhere. It is maintaining 20 miles an hour now, though. I mean, just enough to limp you along. But I can feel it backing down. Again, some of this, we're only doing 17 amps. It really doesn't want to go below 308 volts. That's kind of battery pack bottom voltage right there. But again, this is part of the procedure. I'm going to keep it floored till it completely stops, and we'll see what it does. Then we'll plug it in instantly. But it's definitely given us everything that it can. She's laughing. I mean, it's just holding 16 miles an hour, 2.15 kilowatt output, 15 miles an hour. It's really not, it's not that bad. It's doing what it can. It doesn't just shut off, which is great. And I'm really surprised at how far we went below 0. I think this is probably the best I've experienced. That's what I would say. All right, well, let's see what happens now. We are approaching the one slight uphill on the track. I don't think we're going to be able to do it with 2 kilowatt battery output still. We are almost 6 miles past zero because, again, we hit zero just over here. So that would be a damn good result. And again, we're not trying to say like you should go a lot past zero or anything. I guess we're just trying to figure out what cars do. But this felt really nice to me. Oh, we are losing power. We have no power output anymore. It's just coasting. You can see 0.7 kilowatt battery output. I'm going to keep it floored. We will not make it up the uphill. It's like 5.9 miles, basically. What's going to happen? Will it let us roll backwards? I'm still floored. Auto hold, hit the accelerator pedal, and it rolls backwards. And it grabbed the friction brake there. So if I mash the accelerator pedal, we roll back, and then it stands on the brakes. So it's braking. So now, if I put it in park, because we're completely dead, charge the vehicle now, otherwise the battery may be damaged. Don't worry, we will. I'm going to shut it off, unbuckle, turn the car off. I wonder if there's a restart, because again, it's still showing 0.4% BMS. Let's shut climate control off for now. All right, so I heard the contactor go. Close the door. I'm going to turn her on. It does go into gear. Oh, and we're moving. Only maneuvering possible. Scott's laughing at us. And it is maneuvering. It's, again, we're up to 3 kilowatt battery power output at the moment. So that's enough to like just get it off the side of the road like this. Only maneuvering possible. Wow, it's moving. It was enough to just get it out of that area.
Over to the left because the grass is really wet.
Oh yeah, the charge port's on this side. Here comes the Rivian behind us. But I mean, it is enough to maneuver it. Like if you die in the middle of a intersection or something, you can restart it and pull it off to the side. I'm floored, but we're just doing 4 miles an hour. This is amazing. It's still going. It's going.
4 miles an hour.
Yep, 4 miles an hour.
What are you below zero?
Yeah, we're 5 miles, about 6 miles below zero.
Dang, the Germans have improved.
Well, is that a good thing, or should zero mean zero?
I feel like I prefer to limp along.
It's doing everything it can. Like, I'm still floored. It's doing 4 miles an hour.
It definitely shows it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fast, but it's enough to maneuver.
And like you can turn left and right.
Oh, yeah. I can turn, Scott was asking. So, yes. Oh, it feels like we're giving up again. 1 kilowatt power output. 0.9. Only maneuvering possible. I mean, this is nice if they happen to die at like an auction or a used car lot or something. Just enough to get it over the charger. There, it just gave up. I just felt it cut all power. Yep. 0.4 kilowatts. But it's not doing anything. No regen or accelerator pedal. So no response. So let's come to a stop again and see what happens now. So we're in ready. I hit the accelerator pedal. Literally nothing happens. It's not even trying. So if I go park, charge the vehicle now. Same warnings. It is yelling at me. So there's the contactor closing. Let's see if she'll restart. On and into drive. Oh, we're going again.
No way.
The German restart. Says travel assist is not currently available. Battery drained. Look, it's actually showing power meter now, and that we are using a tiny bit, but only 0.75 kilowatts. But it's enough to keep it moving. I just want to see this go up to 6 miles. There we go. Official 6 miles past zero.
Wow, okay, bud.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. But now we're back to the accelerator pedal not doing anything. So that's kind of the end of the test. Oh, it is regenning a bit on the downhill. Hold on.
Oh, I hear something.
That's the trailer.
Oh.
Oh, it's moving. This is just fun at this point. 3 kilowatt power output there for a second. So it does let the voltage come up and then give you a push. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I think Volkswagen put a hard 4-mile-an-hour speed cap in here because I can see it regenning a little bit on the downhill. And if I lift off and hit the brake, nope, didn't seem to regen anymore. But we have the benefit of a slight downhill here, but still it's enough to get you out of the way, isn't it?
Well, there's Kyle. We're still going. He's still chugging along.
Okay, so it will not output any more power here. We were just coasting a little bit the last bit, but so that's it. Do you think it has one more restart in it? Scott thinks yes. So the contactor opened. Car's back on. Contactor's closed. We're at 311 volts. It lets you go into gear. I'm going to floor it. Ready? Nothing. That was it. No, it's just we're coasting. It's a slight downhill.
Dang. Okay, so how many restarts was that? 3?
2 restarts. 2 restarts and then it's dead. All right, let's plug it in. We've been abusive enough on this battery. While Scott gets us lined up with the trailer, I want to show you guys this. We are at 0.4% BMS. That's really the bottom. So I would treat 1% on this as 0. It really doesn't want the voltage to go below 310 volts or so. That is bottom voltage for this, which is not that low. I bet there's a ton more energy left in these cells, but Volkswagen doesn't want to let you use them and potentially damage the cells. So there's a lot of software protections going on here, which is smart. It means that this system should last for a while with even a ton of abuse. So that should work just fine, Scott. Let's get it plugged in and see if it does anything weird with charging after it dies. Some cars do, some cars don't. I'm going to guess it's going to love this. So in we go. And it is connecting to charging station. Charging station starting. And we should be good to rock and roll. Contactors are clicking and the buzz should charge. All right, take a look. We are charging at 0%. It's sending juice, 0.5 kilowatts, 10 kilowatts, and ramping. And let's see if it does anything weird. It might just take, some cars take like a tiny bit of power after they die, but this is rampant, 50 kilowatts, even more now. So there's 50. I think it's the charger that has to spin up power modules at this point. So there we go. You can run it dead, plug it in, and you're good to rock and roll. A really nice German way of running a car out to 0, and I think that felt pretty good to me. The warnings were accurate, the maneuvering possible. You know, the car never did anything weird. It gave you 2 restarts, which is what Taycan does, and I'm sure other Volkswagen Group products will have to run in this test. But I think that's a really solid result. Comment below with what you think. Obviously, some people think, like engineers, 0% should mean done, 0, side of the road, car won't move. Others will put a ton of energy below 0 so that you don't ever run out. Toyota, Lucid, things like that. But I think Lucid does it because their SOC BMS calculation can be weird after multiple charge and discharge cycles. So they pad the bottom to make up for their bad calculation. That just felt very intentional, very nice, very safe. So shout out to Volkswagen for making, I think, a great effort for our run to 0 test. They really deserve a lot of credit for this. This car's got some really cool stuff going on with it. The buzz is often overlooked because it's expensive and doesn't have that much range. But if you really think about how you use a car, I think it kind of works. I really enjoy it. So let's go get it charged up enough to get to the DC fast charger down the road. We'll do a 0 to a 100% charging test next. And then we're going to drag race it against something. Should be fun. Thanks for watching another Out of Spec Testing video. We'll see you in another one again soon. Bye-bye.